They ran back to the hidden room. Kenny pushed the shelving unit aside just enough for them to slip through again, then closed it back behind them. "There," Kenny whispered, pointing to a narrow supply closet in the corner. It was barely more than a plywood box nailed to a wall, and the door was halfway off its hinges and crooked. They slipped inside, just as the elevator doors squealed open. Ashley barely pulled the closet door shut before they heard footsteps echoing down the hallway. Kenny left the closet to peek out the doorway. Mary. Her blue uniform looked the same as it had yesterday, perfectly pressed and clean. But this Mary didn't smile and didn't look tired or kind. This Mary looked focused and colder than the air around them. And she wasn't alone. Tied at the wrists and ankles on her cleaning cart was a young man, barely 20. His mouth was gagged with a dirty cloth. He was knocked out, and Mary moved him like a sack of laundry, singing softly to herself. Kenny recognized the tune instantly, Silent Night. He hurried back to the closet. Mary pulled the man into the center of the hidden room. She was singing louder now, a sweet tune at such a horrific time. She headed toward the cabinet in the corner, the same one where Ashley had found the box of horrifying photographs, and opened the lower drawer. Mary pulled out a small, heavy-looking jug. It was unlabeled and pale yellow. She unscrewed the cap and sniffed. Kenny slid his phone out of his pocket. He'd synced it to the camera from across the room, where he had set it down earlier on a crate. The camera's little red light blinked to life. Discreet, subtle, catching everything in silent horror. Mary knelt beside the young man and patted his cheek. "Shh," she said softly, almost motherly. "We have to get you clean and ready to be a gift for the mountain." Ashley's stomach turned as her fingers dug into Kenny's arm. Mary dipped a sponge into the chemical and wrung it out slowly. The liquid sizzled as it hit the floor. "Most folks blame the woods," she said to the young man, wiping the sponge along his arm. "Or the bears. But we know what the mountain wants, what the mountain needs." Mary's voice dropped to a whisper. "Don't worry, you will make the perfect present for Jonah." She smiled, continuing to burn the skin on his arm. "It's Christmas, sweetheart. We all give something." Ashley and Kenny watched in horror. This wasn't a legend, ghost stories, or a cursed mountain. This was Mary, and this was murder. Mary dipped the sponge again. Kenny leaned in close, whispering directly into Ashley's ear. "We can't let her do this." "How do we stop her?" "I don't know, but we have to do something. We have to distract her." "I'll make a noise," he said. "Then you run for the elevator and get help." She shook her head. "You're not staying alone. Someone has to keep her here." Ashley felt tears. "This isn't how it's supposed to end." "It won't. We're both going to make it out." Mary raised the sponge to continue burning his skin. Then Ashley shoved the closet door open. "Hey!" she screamed. "Drop it, you witch!" Mary turned, but Ashley launched forward and tackled her. They hit the ground hard. Mary didn't say a word, and she wasn't frail like Ashley expected. Her hands clawed at Ashley's face, tearing into her skin like talons. "Get off me!" Mary finally hissed, swinging the chemical bottle. Ashley ducked just in time to feel some liquid splash past her cheek, hit the floor, and sizzle. "Are you insane?" she shouted, pinning Mary's wrist to the ground with all her strength. "What are you? A murder grandma?" Meanwhile, Kenny was helping the terrified young man, tugging at the knots on the ropes. "Hang on," Kenny said, grabbing a small knife from his gear bag. "You're okay, I've got you. You're going to live. We're getting you out." Ashley grappled with Mary, who was stronger than she had any right to be. "You've been doing this for how long, huh? Just melting people? On Christmas? The mountain demands—" "Oh, shut up about your mountain." Mary got one hand free and tried to grab Ashley's throat. She wasn't hiding now, no longer pretending to be anything but the monster she was. Ashley screamed as her fingernails scratched her. Kenny shouted, Ash! I've got her! Ashley shouted back. Just get him loose! Kenny sliced the last rope, freeing the man's wrists. You're free, he said. Ashley barely dodged another wild swing from Mary. Oh no, you don't! Ashley shouted. Kenny reached into the camera bag and grabbed a bundle of black zip ties. Move! He shouted to Ashley. Kenny pinned her arms behind her back. I swear, he growled, if you spit acid. He cinched the zip ties around her wrists, tighter than necessary. You don't understand. This is order. This is balance. Ashley stood back, breathing hard. Her lip was bleeding, and her left glove was soaked in something that was already eating through the fabric. Lady, this is psychotic. Kenny secured her ankles. She's not going anywhere. I'm getting help. Be careful, Kenny said. Yell if she sprouts wings. Then Ashley ran out of the room and sprinted toward the elevator, praying it hadn't died again. She slapped the button. Come on, come on. The light above the door blinked green. Ashley practically dove inside when it opened, jamming the button for the main floor. As the elevator climbed, she leaned against the wall, still in shock. The elevator dinged and Ashley ran out of the building. The resort towered ahead, looking normal for the first time. She crashed through the lobby doors, making several guests jump. Security! She shouted. Someone call security. There's a serial killer in your basement. Everyone froze. Then a man in a security uniform stood up from behind the concierge desk. What? He asked, stunned. What the hell are you talking about? Ashley rushed him, grabbing his arm. In the basement of the old cleaning supply building. She's got someone tied up. Let's go. He looked at her bleeding lip and the big hole in her glove, then he nodded. Let's go. The elevator groaned open with a screech, and Ashley ran out with the security guard and 2 more officers close behind. The moment they reached the hidden room, one barked, "Clear the area!" Ashley stumbled in behind them. Kenny was crouched next to the young man, keeping him steady. Mary was bound in zip ties, lying on her side, still singing under her breath as though nothing had changed, as if they hadn't just caught her mid-murder. About time, Kenny said in relief, standing up slowly. She was getting chatty. One officer rushed to the victim, lifting him carefully to his feet and guiding him out. Another stepped towards Mary. The mountain takes. I just helped it pick. She said to no one in particular. Get her out of here, one of the officers growled. Hours passed in a blur as more police arrived, sealed the basement, and bagged evidence. Forensics teams swarmed the place, while a detective interviewed them in one of the staff rooms. He asked for everything. The footage, the timeline, even how they found the hidden room. Kenny gave them copies of every file they had, no questions asked. It was over. Mary was taken into custody. The young man was hospitalized, but alive. But the thing that haunted Ashley most was how long it had been happening. Much later, she sat curled up on the couch by the fireplace, wrapped in a blanket with Kenny's arms around her. What if they never let us air it? Ashley said, staring into the flames. They probably won't, Kenny said. But even if they don't, we caught her. That matters more. Ashley nodded slowly, then leaned her head on his shoulder. Still, this would have been one hell of a season finale. Understatement of the year. They sat in silence for a moment, with the crackle of firewood being the only sound between them. Then Ashley turned to face Kenny. So, she said, about earlier. Kenny's lips tugged into a small smile. Yeah. That kiss. That wasn't just a near-death panic smooch, right? He chuckled. No. Not a death panic smooch. Just overdue. Because I really don't want to wait to find another murder basement to do that again. You won't have to. Then he kissed her, and Ashley melted into it with her fingers curling into his hoodie. They both felt calm for the first time in hours. I thought this place was going to eat us alive, she said. It almost did. You're not getting out of future ghost hunts, you know, she said. You're stuck with me. I've survived this long. What's a few more hauntings? Really, because last night I saw a post about a haunted theme park. Too soon, Kenny said, smiling at her. Ashley just smiled but realized something important. This wasn't an ending. It was the beginning, and maybe their scariest story had led them exactly where they were supposed to be.